and welcome to this week's edition of the program Ventures. In the studio today we have someone really special. She's into a very dynamic kind of product. We implore you to stay with us to find out exactly what we're talking about on the program Ventures. Don't go anywhere. In the studio with me today to discuss her entrepreneurial skills is Rose Akoh. Rose, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You can see already from the table that Rose has a special skill that she's going to be talking about. She's into the production of okpehe. I pronounced it correctly?
Yeah, very well, very well.
It's a traditional seasoning. It's very popular in Nigeria. We use it in most of our dishes. And she's going to be telling us why she has it so well packaged, different from the way we know it traditionally. So tell us, first of all, why you decided to repackage okpehe.
Well, thank you for having me. I actually package okpehe and locust beans. Locust beans is a common one that people know. Okpehe is popular amongst Idomas, Igalas, Igbos, and some other parts of Nigeria, but those tribes I listed are the people that are very used to okpehe more. And I decided to start packaging it in this manner because, or in this form rather, because people are used to the balls, and a lot of people stay away from using it because of the offensive aroma that it has. So I decided, I was actually using it like that. My mom makes it in the powdered form and give to me and my siblings, and we use it like that. I discovered that it doesn't spoil. After how so many months, it doesn't spoil, and the idea just came one day. Why don't you make it easier for people to access instead of going to the open market and buying the balls and having to go and pound them again? If you could have it in this form, where you can just walk into supermarkets and pick them from the shelf.
The method of preservation is to dry.
Yes.
Normally, traditionally, you also dry, right?
Sun drying.
Now you dry in powdered.
No, we dry. You make the balls. You can make the balls. Then you just dry and then you grind. Okay. Afterwards.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I know locust bean has the locust bean tree.
Yeah.
So okpehe seeds are from what?
Okpehe, it has the seed too. I actually came with both seeds. Okay. Even I myself, before I started the business, I thought okpehe and locust bean was one and the same thing. Okay. Up until I started, then I discovered they were two different things. So this is locust beans, this is okpehe. They are similar, but they are very different.
Two different trees.
Two different trees.
Is it the same species of trees?
Yes.
Yeah, the same species of trees, but they have two different.
The pods, the leaves, they are quite similar, but the fruits, like the locust beans, you know, locust bean comes, it has flowers, then it has the pods are yellowish inside before you wash and get the seeds out. Yes. Okpehe has some. The pods are quite dark and hard. You just break to bring the seeds out. But locust beans, you have to wash to get the seeds out.
Do you have a processing machine? Is it done still the traditional way? Has anything changed in the way you process it?
Well, for now, everything is traditional. Okay. It's a startup, and we call it a startup because it's just something I just started. And what I do basically is to oversee what the women in the rural areas were doing before and to see how to encourage them to do more, and also to sort of scale up their business. My mom handles the production. My mom does the bulk of the work. She has the older women or the women in the rural areas that were into this business before. So they still do it traditionally. We still sun dry. We are thinking of using dehydrators now, machines to dry them and see. But for now, we are still doing the traditional method. Get them, wash, dry, leave them to ferment after a while, pound, allow them to dry, then you grind. I wanted something that would stand out. So handling packaging has not been very easy because this is how I started. So it equally affects the price or the overhead cost at the end of the day. So getting the pouches has not been very easy. Some days you don't get the size that you want. And I really wanted to have very small sizes because in the open market, you could still get okpehe for 50 naira. So imagine doing all you're doing, and at the end of the day, people don't want to buy it for, maybe when you've factored every other prices into it, people don't want to buy it for that amount. So it hasn't been very easy.
It seems like you still outsource this,
yes,
right? You
yes.
Still have to get the pouches
bulk
from
of it.
you,
Bulk of it. The only way that it can be done by maybe the production team is if we are able to get machines.
How much does it add, marginally or highly, to your production, your overall price tag for the retail?
For now, this is like the smallest, and it goes for 300 naira retail price. This is like 500 naira. This is like 5,000 naira. This is 1,000 naira.
So how long have you been doing this?
We launched in June, 16th June 2019. Okay. So it's been 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So there was COVID in between. Tell me a little bit about that time. When you're an entrepreneur, I always want to survive through.
It was crazy. It was crazy because we just started.
Yeah.
So when COVID came, I just stopped. We stopped. It was difficult. If we had had a market beforehand, maybe we would have tried to continue, but we stopped production for a very long time.
Post the lockdown,
yeah,
you now re-strategized, or you just continued?
We're building something because we started mid 2019, and in less than 6 months, that whole thing started. So we're still in a building up stage when the whole COVID thing started. So we just picked up from where we stopped. We are still, I don't think we've really changed a lot since we started. We're trying to see how we can scale up production for the women in the rural areas. We are already making the balls. So the bulk of the work is with them. So they are not used to producing in large quantities. They're already used to that. Let me just do small and go and sell in the market and feed my family. And especially for people traveling out of the country who don't have the luxury of just walking to a market and buying, you know, most times they buy in bulk when they are traveling. So there's serious market for it. Nobody wants to stress going to the market, pick, buy in unhygienic form and start pounding again.
Okay, and also the sanitary aspect of these
exactly.
things. So we have to take that into
exactly.
consideration. Okay, so how do you motivate those core producers of the product? As you say, you've already mentioned that your mother is like the one who kind of takes charge of all of that. So, but how do they get motivated to do much more than they used to do before?
She's paying them salaries now.
Okay.
They are not relying on selling once in a while to make money. They're getting money frequently compared to before. So in our own little way, we are actually doing a lot for women in the rural area, and
things that most entrepreneurs
do,
which is they pay for labor, which
exactly.
means you are an employer.
They are actually doing a lot now compared to what they were doing before, and they are sure of consistent income.
There's one other thing about agricultural produce.
Yeah.
This is end product.
Yeah.
Do these trees produce all year round?
No, it does, but it takes time. Okpehe trees are actually going out of extinction. People are complaining of how they are falling the trees and using the wood for other forms of production, and it's a worry. Some days I sit and I wonder, are we going to have Okpehe to use after a while? So we are also looking into getting lands and planting some, so we can ensure that we have it. It's not all year round. It takes a long time for it to come. So it's scarce. Okpehe is actually very expensive. As much as we're saying you could get 15 naira ball in the market, the 15 naira ball is actually very tiny.
Would you say that the locust bean tree is more popular?
Yeah,
than the
it's more popular, and you find it more.
Yeah, so the Okpehe tree is threatened actually.
Very much.
And is it native to certain areas?
Yes.
Does it grow across Nigeria?
No. Okpehe it's not widespread like locust beans. You find there are some people who even have locust beans and they don't even know what it's for. Yes. Like recently we just discovered that in Abuja, in the Gwari areas, they have locust beans a lot.
A lot, yeah.
And most times they don't even use it for anything seriously. So you find the Okpehe trees to the best of my knowledge, you find it a lot in Benue, some parts of Kogi, I don't know about other places. I've not really done, to be frank, I've not really done that research. But I think locust beans is more.
Okay. So
compared to that.
Are you doing this side by side with the you said you're doing the locust bean, but you do the okpehe more?
Yeah, I would want to say I'm a bit biased with the okpehe because I feel locust beans is already known, and a lot of people already, they're used to it. So I'm trying to push okpehe out there. Okay. It's very nutritious. It's very healthy. It's good. It's sweet. When you use it to cook, you will see the difference.
Yeah, the way you're saying you want to salivate. Okay, tell me a few things you've cooked with.
Oh no, that is another aspect. Like, people are used to using okpehe to make soups. Yeah. Once I see okpehe, they'll say, "Oh, this thing you put it in a goosey, so you put it in a banana." No, you can use okpehe to cook a lot. Jollof rice. There's this very nice spinach stew my mom makes with white rice. When you eat it, very, very nice. You can use okpehe to cook porridges. You can use okpehe to cook stew. A lot. Once your taste bud gets used to it, you can use it to cook anything. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you do a regular 9 to 5.
Yes,
so
I do.
How do you juxtapose doing a regular 9 to 5? Monday to Friday, and then doing something on the other hand?
Oh well,
entrepreneur.
That's just the hard part of it. I can't sacrifice one for the other. So the bulk of the work is after work hours, late nights, weekends. So, and I think that's why the business is still slow paced. That in 3 years, we've not really done as much as we would have wanted to do because the time is really not there. And I can't necessarily say, oh, this is what I want to face at the moment, you know. So it's usually after work hours and weekends for me. But the bulk of the production is handled by my mom. I just handle publicity, packaging, and ensure that I keep reminding them, her and her team, why we are doing this. I want people to actually get comfortable with walking into a store and just buying it. Because, I mean, we have okpehe and you're not perceiving anything. On a good day, most people like, you have okpehe, oh, they want to run away, but you're not perceiving anything.
Okay, so does it stay this mild also when you're already you're already cooking with it?
Well.
Once you start cooking with it, then you get the real aroma. Yes. It now hits you that you're using
If I open it now, you're going to perceive it. That one is there.
So there's one other seasoning that they make with soya beans. Yeah. Is it also the same process?
Yes, somehow. It's close. Locust beans is usually the seed. You hardly see people pounding or grinding. People are used to the seeds already. But okpehe is usually round balls or rectangular shapes. If you go around Kogi State with the Igalas, it's usually that long one. So it's just the form most times. And older people know about this because it was what they were actually using.
And they process it.
Yes, as well. And they know the benefits and it actually works. They believe in it and it really works for them. Okay. So there's a difference. If you even look at the color, the finished product here, see? This is okpehe, this is locust beans. Okay. Okpehe is darker. Yeah. Locust beans is not so dark. Brown. It's lighter. Yeah. Do you understand?
Do you think that young people should have this kind of dreams that you just take a traditional agricultural produce and just try to put it on the shelf of a supermarket? From that thought to this stage,
I think it's important that we try to look for things around us and try to bring them to certain levels of acceptance amongst ourselves, because culturally we are losing a lot. A lot of people just assume that what is from out there is better. What is shiny, it's better. If I give this to someone now and I carry the balls, they will come for this.
Yes, of course.
So why not? Look around you. There's a whole lot. People are packaging a lot these days. A lot. Kulikuli. You see kulikuli now in packs. Yes. Normally before you see kulikuli open inside trays in the marketplace, unhygienically carried around, and you're worried about it, you don't want to. So there's a lot of things that people can actually look around.
It's the work. I want you to tell us about the work.
It's not easy. I was thinking, oh, I'm doing this. People will not even bother about pounding anymore. People will buy. I had this mindset of everybody seeing things the way I was seeing it. I'm like, okay, once any Doma person or any Igala person sees this, they'll rush it immediately. I don't need to go and buy the balls and pound. Some people don't care. They still want to go and buy the balls. Some people even say, this can't be Ukbehe, it's not possible. It can't smell like Ukbehe. It can't taste like Ukbehe. So that sacrifice of persevering, that sacrifice of even starting. I know how much we've invested in this. I won't say we've broken even yet. I won't say we've scaled production yet. But I think it's rewarding. You need to be strong. To do any business at all, you need to be strong. And I'm very patient. And a lot of people don't have that patience. That patience and sacrifice, like you said, you need a whole lot of it. A whole lot. Nobody should lie to you. Don't look at all the claws and assume that it's easy. It's not easy.
All right, so tell me a little bit about your background. What did you study?
Well, for my first degree, I did sociology in University of Abuja. And I did social work for my master's in University of Jos. And I also have an MBA from Open University.
Right.
Yeah.
So have any of these motivated you and all encompassingly made you become an entrepreneur apart from your 9 to 5?
Yeah, social work. I went for social work specifically because I like to call myself a charity enthusiast. I like to see people comfortable. I like to help people, you know. So I looked at those women and like I said, the motivation to start running this business came from having it in my house and seeing that it stayed nice and potent for a very long time. And I was looking at the women doing this business. There's a whole lot of labor that goes into making Ukbehe, a lot, and time. And I felt I could actually help them and encourage them. And frankly, we've seen a lot of women who have now gotten used to, oh, we have production this time. They're coming to meet my mom. When are we starting? So I think that's my studies, social work, is really helping.
You know, there are some things that are Nigeria specific. It's a NAFDAC approval. Yeah. One agency after the other. Tell me a little bit.
Doing business in Nigeria is not easy. I don't need to even sugarcoat it at all because there's a whole lot. When we approach some stores, oh, we are selling this, can you help us sell? Can we start supplying? There were some that outrightly said, no, we don't take anything that doesn't have NAFDAC number. There were some that said, okay, give us. Now, those who took the products when it didn't have NAFDAC number told us how the NAFDAC guys would storm in sometimes and raid and pack these things from there. And I believe in process. I believe in doing the right thing. I ask questions. How do I get? The first person I spoke to made it seem like it was very difficult. And I don't really blame her because she had it tough, you know. But I'll encourage people to always take steps. Don't just hear, oh, this thing is like this, and then you, oh, it's difficult to get NAFDAC number. They are there to do the job. It may not be easy, but with the assistance of people who saw what I wanted, people who saw that I was really ready to persevere. I don't think it took more than a year. You know, all you need to do is to go there, ask questions, get the right materials that you need. Just get everything ready. Be ready to put in work. And we have our NAFDAC numbers already. And most times you don't even know that when you get it, it expires after 5 years for like this. Okay. So you have to start another process altogether.
The renewal is a whole new process, or you just
it's not everything complete, okay, but they may still have to come and inspect to know if what you're doing if you're still doing what you told them you were doing then before they gave you, because they came for inspection.
What inspires you to carry on? Inspiration.
I like to help people. I feel we all need to do something. So the fact that I'm making a difference, I'm building my nation, I'm encouraging people, I'm making a difference. Just that alone, the fact that I wake up and I know that I'm not ordinary, I'm doing a lot.
One other thing that I would like to ask is your accounting systems, bookkeeping, all of these things.
Yeah.
Is it easy?
It's not. It's crazy. But one thing we tried to do was to ensure that we know our numbers. Try to write it down. Even if it's normal, just write. And we ensured we had our accounts, the business accounts. Make sure anybody making payment is making in, even if you're going to remove it for any reason, let the money be going there. It will be easy for you to trace your numbers and know your number, but it's not easy because it's one way that businesses can fail.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So side by side with the Akoh is some makeup stuff from my bag and I need her to tell me what some of these products are, because I'm just your regular powder and lipstick and eye pencil person. The eye pencils are not even here, but these are the ones that I find tough to analyze. What's this about?
One thing you need to know about makeup is just know what is what. Ensure your face is clean. Let your foundation be your shade and then your powder. Once you apply those, then one other thing that I would advise people to get, it's a brow gel. A brow gel will lift your brows up. And if you don't have a brow gel, just get this wand that you use for your mascara. They sell the single tiny ones like 100 naira, 200 naira. Just get it. A wand like this. Once you get it, you can put your Vaseline or soap and just brush it up. It will raise your eyebrows. Do you get? Then you can just put your pencil. Make sure your foundation is your shade. Then eye pencils. Avoid black eye pencils. No matter how dark you are, do not use black eye pencils for your brows. Nobody's brows are dark. They are always brown or dark brown. At most, mix them up. But once you use black eye pencil, it will always show. You understand? So, and then another thing again, eyeshadows have two types. The shimmer and the matte. Some call it matte. There is no matte here. This is all shimmer. So this is always going to pop. And you don't need this all the time. Your shimmer shouldn't go beyond your eyelid, which is just this place here. But once you go and put it on your brow bone, which is this place, it will just make your face look somehow. And if you decide to use this as a blush, which is usually supposed to be on your cheekbone, if you decide to use an eyeshadow as a blush, it's going to shine. So if you ever want to use your eyeshadow as a blush, it should be a matte eyeshadow, not a shimmer eyeshadow. If you look at this now, these are expensive products. Do you understand? You can't even find them. You can see that they are not as shiny as this. So a blush is not an eyeshadow. Once you have your good foundation, you have your brown pencil, you have your powder, you're good to go.
Right.
Seriously. So makeup education is very important. Yeah. The occasion, most times, you understand. But weddings, you see people doing loud, different type of makeup. It's a wedding. People are out to have fun. I understand that part. But for formal settings, mild makeup. It doesn't need to be loud.
Then the last thing, brushes.
Brushes are very important. I wish there were plenty brushes. Yeah, I would have shown you. This is a powder brush. This is a powder brush. Okay. Yes, everybody should have a powder brush. Brushes help you. It doesn't waste your product. So when you're using these pads you see in powder, most times you take a lot. And most times you're applying it to your face. You may have sweat on your face. Once it touches, the liquid is already on it. That's why you see some people's powder, you've seen it looking hard and cakey somehow. It's not hygienic. So brushes are very nice. They help you take a little and it just drops it beautifully compared to others. So you need brushes.
So we have talked about two extremely different things, and it's just one person that has the knowledge of both. And we thank you, Rose, for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
And I
Pleasure
hope that
is all mine.
we'll call you again when Akoh opens its own mall.
Very soon.
Very
soon.
Yeah.
We'll also have a kitchen.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you so
we
much.
will do this again same time next week. Thank you for joining us. Do have a pretty wonderful day.